Did you know over 60% of first-time clients do not return for a second visit? That is so painful, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's where Maya comes in. Maya is the ultimate marketing software for the beauty and wellness industry. We have a proprietary funnel utilizing special algorithms to help connect the right consumers with the right providers at your business. This means that Maya helps you get higher spending clients you love to work with who stay the long haul. If you want to increase your revenue, increase your client count, increase your average ticket, and increase your new client retention, then you need Maya. Go to joinmaya.com to set up your own personal virtual tour and see why over 500,000 consumers have trusted Maya and the businesses we work with to find their perfect beauty and wellness pro. We promise you will love Maya.
Thank you for joining me. This is Kati Whitledge with the Beyond the Technique podcast. Raise your prices confidently. Is that even possible? Am I the only one who secretly freaks out? Like, I'll be the first one to stand on the hill and be like, no, we need to do this. This is how it should be. And then I'm the one who's freaking out. Like, did we make the right choice? Or is everybody going to be happy about this? Are we going to have major backlash? Oh my God, the world's coming to an end, but we're going to talk through it. We're going to talk through raising your prices and how to do it confidently. And I don't know it all when it comes to this, but we've done it a lot of times in the last 15 plus years. And so I'm just going to impart some of the wisdom that I feel like I've gained from those experiences. So first things first, price increases. It's about sustainability. It's about excellence. It's about serving clients at your highest potential. You're not just raising prices, you're raising your standards. And there's so many benefits to this. I'm going to get to all of that, but let me just start with, you really can't deliver a first class service on an economy budget. What's really wild is our industry, literally the salon and spa industry, our expenses have increased 12 to 20% since 2021. So that's product costs, utilities, payroll, education, and inflation. Helping the whole business by raising the prices will have a positive domino effect. This is a good thing to do. And by the way, every major USA company raises their prices at least once annually, according to Consumer Price Index Summary and the US Consumer Good Prices. There's other sources to support that this is not atypical. We're going to get into how much should you raise your prices by, how often, and what should that look like when you go to execute? But the price increase is going to help you with talent retention. Stylists and providers, they will stay when they feel valued and paid properly. Your highest performers eventually reach a level where demand outpaces supply. And when the business earns responsibly, it funds better education, tools, technology, and team growth. So for salon owners out there, really anticipate, what is this price increase going to do for our team and for the business? And how much value are we going to be able to provide or continue to provide because of that for our clients? And then you got to share the why with the team. So before you go to raise your prices, you really need the team to understand why that is. And even as an owner, it's good to remind your operational leaders, why is it that we should raise our prices? So first things first, meet with your upper inner circle and work on the plan. Decide on how much you should raise the prices. I want to share with you a source that I love in our industry, and it's not even a source, it's a person, it's a human being, and her name is Nina Tulio. If you are not following her and learning from her financial business acumen, you are missing out. Nina is incredible. And this is what I learned from her. She kind of compares, like, okay, for a provider, what would it look like for a provider financially if their commission was raised by 2% versus if they got a 10% price increase, which would actually pay more? Well, here's the first scenario. She's like, imagine that you do $1,800 per week in service sales. Your commission is currently at 45%, let's just say. Okay, if it's bumped to 47%, you're getting an additional $36 per week based on an $1,800 week. So 36 extra dollars in a week if you go from 45 to 47% commission. On the flip side, if you have a 10% service price increase and you stay at 45% commission, you're actually going to earn $81 more per week. So the price increase gives you 2.2 times more than a bump in your commission. The second scenario, if you do $2,200 per week in service sales, so $2,200 per week. Let's say you're at a commission level of 48% and now you get bumped to 50%. Based on what you average in sales, your increase would be $44 per week if your commission goes up to 50%. However, if you have a 10% price increase on your services at a 48% commission, you will make $106 extra every single week. How many weeks are in a year? I mean, how many weeks do we work in a year? Like, let's just call it 50. Like, the difference is staggering. It's a price increase in this scenario is 2.4 times more for the provider on commission than if their commission was bumped up a little bit. There's something in the heads of professionals that feel like I need to be at 50%. If I'm at 50%, it's the most I could be making either way. And that's not the truth. It's not the truth. So again, I'm going to put in our show notes the link for you to follow Nina because there are way more bangers of advice on her social media than even this. But this alone to me was like, that is it. And by the way, this is where I'm going to start because our salon just raised our prices and I would recommend 10%. That's what we did. And the reason for that is because it'd been over 18 months since we had done a price increase. Now, that seems wildly long. And it's because a year ago, we separated finally parts from labor. So it was going to be the first time our clients were going to check out. And Mary, last visit, it was $100. Today, it's going to be $130 because 30 of that is now the cost of all the product we use and supplies for your advanced color service. So Mary took a little bit more of a hit a year ago because we implemented that major shift. And because we implemented that major shift, we did not increase service prices back then. So this year, well, really 18 months later, we said, okay, we're going to increase both, but we're going to increase service pricing by 10%. And we're going to just bump up the price increase of our parts from labor. So the parts version, that is going to bump up just 5% because that's only been 1 year. Inflation on average is 3%, by the way. So if you're not giving yourself more than 3% of an increase in any time frame that you do this, you're actually losing money. I'm not going to get into all the interest rates and things like that, but it needs to be more than 3%. And by the way, we've seen throughout this whole season of inflation, we've seen in the last 5 years that pricing and different things have gone up way more than 3%. Cost of living, cost of everything. So this is where we're landing. We're raising the prices on services by 10% and our separate product charges to the client, we are raising just 5%. you still always have this gut feeling like, oh my goodness, like, because the higher ticket amount, the higher you are charging, the higher the price tag, the bigger 10% is going to be. So, I mean, it's basic math. $100, 10% is $10. So if you charge $200 and Mary checks out and is used to paying $200, now she's going to pay $220. That feels different than somebody who charges $50 for a haircut and a 10% would be five. Now they spend 55 for a haircut. Do you get what I'm saying? So like the higher, I get why people get a little nervy about the 10% because the if you're a master level, you're already charging quite a bit. And so a 10% increase can feel a little more significant. So you really want to have the team understand that this is all going to be a good reason to reinvest in them and their team and the business. We're not going to take anything away from you with this price increase. The owner is not going to stuff her pockets with the additional money coming in. More so, we want to have the funds to have our operational team be full-time hours to get paid above the normal for retail team members in our area to help everybody with cost of living, like bringing in big name educators, which we do. And now instead of one, we could bring two. And now instead of two, we can bring three. Like there's just, I know the heart of salon and spa owners. And it's always like, how do we make this year better than last? What more can we do for the team? Always. And this is what is going to help you. It's a vehicle to help you do that. When you meet with the team, usually 1 to 4 weeks before you launch your new pricing, you want the entire team to know about it. And what's really cool is we have leaders on our salon team who have prepared every single level. So if you're a level 1 protege stylist, here's your new pricing menu. And level 2, here's your new pricing menu. So everybody would have that in their hands and know clearly what their new pricing is going to be. One of our location managers, her name is Mallory. She's so creative and awesome, and she loves the women that she gets to work with and lead. And she also created individual pricing menus to put in everybody's stations. So they just had it like as a laminate thing inside their stations. It's just so cool. And I shared how Nina broke down how do we quantify this change? If I do a commission increase versus a price increase, how do I quantify that? Well, we thought the same thing for our stylists. We thought, hey, what if we take a look at one of their payroll periods? And if nothing else changes, and it was a payroll period where it's not like everybody was slammed and it was the craziest, best payroll period of their lives. It was just a normal, typical payroll period. We pulled that and we're trying to show them, hey, if nothing changes, this is what the price increase will do for you. So if your paycheck was $3,000, now it is $3,800 or something, you know what I mean? Like, well, Mallory took this to a whole nother level. I didn't even know she was doing this. I found out after the fact, and this tickled my heart. Like, I cannot even tell you, this woman is so creative and smart. The whole package. So she creates a design of pretend checks, pay to the order of, and then for each individual stylist, she took the time to do this, you guys. For each individual stylist, she showed payroll period, such and such, what you did make. And based on your new pricing, if we had the same payroll period, here's a pay to the order check of what this new paycheck would be. And it really gave everybody the sense of like, wow, this is really cool. Like this matters. People seeing a check written to them in that form makes it real of what kind of impact this is going to have on their lives. What would you do with an extra $400 every month? On the low end, we saw around $100 of an impact per payroll period. Now you get typically 2 payroll periods in a month, sometimes 3, but typically 2, right? So in one payroll period, on average, we saw like 100, or the lowest, I should say. And then the highest was around 400. I mean, that's really significant, you guys. This makes a huge impact on their lives. So we help the team by sharing advice. Like one of my stylists, I can't take credit for this. One of my master stylists knew this price increase was happening. Timing wasn't perfect. And I'll get into that in a moment. But she was like, you know what? I had a little time before my first guest of the day, and I wrote them little notes of how much they mean to me and the impact they have. And it's perfect timing for this time of year, holidays. And I think that was really special. So sharing that with the team and saying, if you want to do something like this, we want to support that you have access to being able to do that for your clients. Also, helping shift clients to stylists that may, if you do have, and usually it's, we all think we're going to have these clients react terribly to the price increase. And then when the actual price increase launches, it is like, oh, nobody said anything. It's not been a big deal at all. And so we tend to have more anxiety about the unknowns than what actually happens. But if you do have a couple people who are a little like, ooh, sticker shocked, keep the stylist, keep your team in mind and keep the client coming to other providers, stylists, spa team members within your business. So really equipping your team to have those conversations. Hey, you know what? I have been mentoring this stylist over here. I work with this stylist every day. She's amazing. She's at this particular level. I would never be offended if you booked with her. You'd still get to see me because we work similar days. I'd love to see you if that makes more sense for you. Like, I completely support that. That's one way to handle anybody that feels a sticker shock of any kind and actually verbalizes it. Another way is separating appointments. So if you are always coming in for your advanced color and your specialty curly haircut, yeah, today's total is going to be significantly more than the last time. But how about we do your advanced color today? And in 3 weeks, we will do your specialty curly haircut or however that is for you, but separating out the visits. I really don't think it's like, have you ever built a cart when you're shopping online for clothes and you kind of have that threshold in your head? Everybody's different, but you're like, ooh, I can't stomach going over that amount in one checkout. But if you buy a couple things today and then 2-3 weeks from now, you get a couple more and it ends up being the same amount at the end of the month, you just don't feel it as much. Don't we do that to ourselves? Isn't that ridiculous? But we do that. So what I think is more likely in this scenario and what I prefer, I'd rather actually spend less time in the salon than less money. I want to be in and out max 3 hours. Like then I get like, oh, wow, I'm here for a while. Now, luckily, I hang around the best stylists ever and they're fun to be around. So 3 hours can go by fast and I actually don't feel it. But anywhere else, I'm like, where am I? What am I getting out of here? Like, I have a whole life I got to live outside of this place. Are we almost done? It's like patience. We don't have patience. So I think it's more likely clients want to spend less time, not necessarily less money. So it's still a good practice to separate. And then they come in more often, by the way, which is more opportunity for retail. You have your gratuities, like all the things. There are many benefits to getting your clients to come in more frequently and separating out those visits anyhow. So I would make sure everybody we're on the same page. We know what we're doing for a price increase and why we're doing it. And really being prepared. And this is something I'll share with you, preparing yourself not just with your service menu and how is that going to look? How is it going to change? Giving everybody a copy so they know for themselves, your operational team knows, but making sure it's updated in your point of sale, on your website, any menus, anywhere online booking, anywhere the client might see before they come in. what happened is when we did our price increase, we had prepared everything to talk through it at our next monthly team meeting. And then our software company executed, like did all the work to do the price increase, and it launched almost a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, something like that. It launched early. And then we were scrambling to be like, oh my gosh, we haven't had a chance to tell anybody or get everybody to get excited or show them their before and after check examples and give them their pricing menu. And now it's all changed in our software. So now we got to hurry up and tell everybody and like have all these one-on-one conversations and make sure everybody's okay. You're fine. Your emotions are in check. You all know what I mean because we're dealing with emotive humans. We are the emotive humans ourselves. And so that did not go perfectly. But luckily, we were prepared enough for the upcoming meeting that when that did go awry, we handled it quickly, swiftly, and we just were able to deal with it. But making sure all those little things are thought through. When someone is, let me just pitch, not to pitch Maya, but when somebody is maybe having a little bit of that sticker shock from a client perspective and you are not sure which stylist they should see or which provider, that is a really great way to recommend Maya. So there's two thoughts on this. And why am I bringing this up? Because do you communicate with your clients before their visit that they're about to have a price increase, or do you just not say anything? What I think is interesting is if you announce it, it's always like, okay, transparency builds trust. Now, one food of thought is that you are being transparent when they book online, when they look at your website. But what about that client that pre-booked, they set it up and they didn't know that, oh, that's next time this was going to be different for them. So that one food for thought is to announce it, to say, hey, just so you know, we have a company-wide price increase, or we have new pricing that's been launched. There's ways to frame it. New pricing has been launched, so that will be in effect at your next visit. To see what our service pricing menu is, click here. That is an option. It does prevent the front desk from being stuck in awkward conversations or even the stylist. This is a good thing for salons that have very loyal, high retention clientele. But on the flip side, hotels, airlines, restaurants, most retailer, nobody publicly announces their price increases. Why? It avoids unnecessary drama or emotional responses. They have a modern, simple pricing method that clients can see when they start going to book or pre-booking or whatnot. They book online, they see that. And it works better to not announce sometimes when you are a salon or spa that has that part separate from labor, when you have that dynamic pricing structure. It's up to you. I've seen both ways. And I'll tell you, for over 10 years, we always announced in our marketing emails that this price increase would take an effect on such and such date. Hey, if this is affecting your beauty budget, we still would love to see you. And here's our matchmaker. Take this short survey to see which other stylists here are a great fit for you. And that will give them the opportunity to get matched with stylists who are potentially at a different price point than the stylist that they currently see. But there's something psychological. Like I want sometimes what I think I can't have. It's like that FOMO. So am I willing to pay $40 more to have my person who I love, who knows me, my life, everything? The answer is yes. And I do that all day long. I am loyal to the provider who provides the care for me. And I'm picky and I have high standards. If you're my person that cares about me, you are not just giving me a haircut. You are giving me an experience. You are giving me a safe place to be myself and to reveal who I really am and be able to share confidential things with you. That's how I am with people that provide services for me. And I suspect that is how your clients feel about you. Who ultimately benefits from a price increase? Everybody. The guests do too, because they're going to get an elevated, sustainable experience. They want the salon to be sustainable and thrive. The stylists are going to, providers, spa providers, they're all going to earn more, which grows their confidence. It helps reduce burnout. Owners will benefit. It will help them reinvest in technology, education, compensation, and team support. And future clients get that healthy new pricing from day one. Here's what I want you to think about. You're not raising prices on your clients. You're raising prices for your business to serve them better. I'm going to say that again. You're not raising prices on your clients. You're raising prices for your business to serve them better. Clients at the end of the day are not going to leave because of price. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're going to leave because they no longer perceive the value of what you're providing for them. If it doesn't feel worth it, they'll leave. If you're always looking for ways to provide value to every single person's visit, they'll stay. People pay more for experiences, convenience, and trust. That's huge. They pay more for that than they will for a service. And then finally, this is so key. Higher prices attract clients who are more committed, more respectful, and more appreciative. Have you ever done deals for people and then you like regret the hell out of that? Because you're like, now I gave you all these things. Now you're the biggest nightmare client I have. If somebody does not see the value of what you're providing, they never will. It doesn't matter if you come down 10%, 20%, $10, $20. No. Higher spending clients are more committed clients. They have more respect and they're more appreciative. So just remember, you're not raising prices, you're raising your standards. Your future clients already expect that. Your team deserves it and your business requires it. So raise your prices confidently. Friends, I hope you got value out of today's conversation. And I hope there's a couple key things that you took away that you can apply to your own salon or spa. If you love this platform, please take a moment to leave us a positive review wherever you're listening so that more people like you will discover Beyond the Technique, where we're here to change the way that you are supported in your business. Until next time, have an awesome day.